Hello, everyone. Welcome to another conversation. As always, we like to seek out exciting Jamaicans that make us proud of who we are. Marcia Wedingburn is a.k.a. Cherry Natural, sees herself as a revolutionary poet, and her art is part of the revolution. To her, poetry is a living art form which is embodied by the Jamaican oral tradition and which cannot be bound in books. In Sidham Come, she warns that her language is no Anglo-Saxon English and that the words she uses will be found in an Oxford or Webster. We enter dialogue to appreciate the gift of Cherry Natural. As always, my co-host Chris will be conducting the interview, so take it away, Chris.
Thanks, Denise, and welcome, Cherry Natural. It's good to dialogue with you today.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, man, give thanks.
All right. Well, we always tell the audience a little, before we get into your artistry, let's learn a little about you and tell us a little about your Jamaican roots.
Well, I was born in Jamaica, in Kingston, mother and father, Kingstonian, and I grew up partially in the country, went to school in the country and went to school in Kingston, and started writing from I was at the age of 12.
Okay, so where's country for you? What other parish is that? Would that be?
It's in Westmoreland. I grew up in Westmoreland, yes, with my grandparents.
Okay, that's really neat. Well, you went through a name change, you're now Cherry Natural. Give us that journey, how you ended up with that moniker as your symbol of calling.
All right, Cherry Natural is my performance name, my artist name. All right,
okay.
I still use the name Marcia Wedderburn. So when I was born, I was red like the cherry. That's the complexion I had. So my father looked at me and said, I look like a cherry. So call her Cherry. And then later down, at the age of around 19, I gave myself the name Natural. So I add Cherry Natural.
Okay, Natural. Thank you for that understanding. So I guess your father was so overwhelmed with your beauty, and he's been blessed with a daughter that he made that association, and you've just expanded.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other piece, that adjective you used to describe yourself, is revolutionary.
Yes.
Give us the journey you took to be able to land in that space in time.
Well, when I was much younger, Miss Louise Bennett Coverley, who is another prominent Jamaican who is now deceased, was someone who I look up to. She used to write poetry in dialect, and I admire her strength because the Jamaican language was never being promoted in schools that you should use it, and she used it publicly on a stage. So when I saw her doing that, she inspired me to start writing my poetry in dialect. And then at the same time, because of women, and a young girl was kind of not that, couldn't protect herself, I went to study martial arts. So that is where my revolutionary thing came in terms of trying to defend myself with martial arts and trying to defend myself with words, because at those times there was a lot of things happening that what I was very angry about.
Wow, so boy, you've developed two sets of skills. One is to use your voice to be able to articulate your position and defend your position, and two, to physically defend yourself through the development of martial arts skills.
Definitely.
Okay, that's wonderful. Well, thank you for that. Well, language and I said you're somewhat would say frown on Anglo-Saxon English, as you said. Your choice of medium, how does that influence your region, influence on others outside of, say, the Jamaican culture?
Well, we traveled outside of Jamaica and using the language, and the language was even used, the poetry and using that language was also used as a PhD study by a professor in Indiana University. So what happened is that we don't have much of a problem because we don't directly go do hardcore Creole. So what we do, we mix it sometimes with the English because English is a language that is universal. So we don't really frown on it as such. What we said is that our language, our mother tongue should be respected. So we more articulate, and it's more expressive to articulate in our Jamaican language.
Okay, so your audience is your focus on the Jamaican community as opposed to a global community?
No, what I'm saying is that there is a lot of persons from the global community that is studying this language. So we don't make it as much as make it so difficult. It's mixed with the English language. So what we do, we taint it with a lot of English and Creole. But what we are saying is that expressing ourselves in our tongue is more real to us so that people can understand. Because if you notice Bob Marley is a very international artist and is recognized, and he used a lot of the Jamaican language mixed with the English language. Okay.
The other means of getting the word out is through books and as a delivery source. Speak to your use of that or unuse of that in your of sharing your portrait.
All right. So we this is my third book. The book that I'm promoting now, it's called The Lyrical Contortionist, and we realize that we have a reading audience and a lot of people because of the cultural exchange that is happening right across the world. And Jamaica is really a country that a lot of people have interest in. So a lot of people take time out to understand the Jamaican language. So when we write it, there's a lot of persons who I find, especially from even different cultures, who bought the book in terms of wanting to understand more about the patois, because you have a patois dictionary out there, that a lot of the tourists, when they came here, they buy that book.
Right. Okay. So, all right. So we've kind of set the context. Then let's talk about the subjects of your expression. Where do you go to get motivation for the kind of topics? And for your third book that we're talking about, give us a summary of what you aim to or capture in those poems.
All right. Where do I go to get motivation? Motivation is all around me because I have a passion for injustice, against injustice. And in that book, I look at 5 different topics. I write about love, poems. I write about youth, give the youth a chance, revoluting, women empowerment, and inspiration. So I see inspiration all around me on a day-to-day basis with just observing the people, observing the politics that is happening in Jamaica, observing the news, listening to the news, and talking to the people. That's how I really get most of my motivation.
That's wonderful. Would you mind just sharing a slice of your work for our audience, just to give us a taste of it?
This one is called Fight Back, and it's taken from the section called Women Empowerment. Said, I don't promote violence, but I personally believe in self-defense. So defend yourself. It's such a beautiful thing when a queen can communicate with her king without a threat so she go and get a beating. She wants someone to talk to, but all them do is argue and argue and argue. Check it. Him not do nothing when the man them out a road calling idiot. But as she open her mouth, is a box that. Yes, a box that. His anger seems to be very selective. He beat her again. Eyes swollen, nose broken, tears running down her cheek. She feels hopeless and weak. Sister, crying won't make it stop. Fight back. Fight back. No make no man butter bruise your body. Go and learn karate. Give him a dose of him own medicine. Learn how to black lick, 1 back fist and 2 snap kicks. Then finish it with a phoenix. Defend yourself, no wait till later. Defend yourself, no wait till later. I better you talk to the judge than the undertaker. I better you talk to the judge than the undertaker. Get out while you're still alive. Leave the abuse. If you stay, you might make the news. Murder, suicide, man kill woman, then kill himself. Listen to your gut feelings. Deal with the fears. First time a victim, second time a volunteer. Don't try to justify why. Just leave. Love don't make no one bleed. Love don't make no one bleed. Holding a knife at your throat is not foreplay. If you stay, you die a little every day. And you're saying to your children, it's okay. Love self first. It won't get better. It's gonna get worse. Give thanks.
Wow. Thank you for that powerful rendition.
Yeah, give thanks.
Yeah.
Give thanks.
So tell us a little. When do you do performances of these points in shows or the like? How?
Yes,
since it's an oral event. Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the reactions? Do
that
people come up to you afterwards? Say maybe in general. What do you hear? Women come up and feeling affirmed and emboldened by your talk. What are women's feelings about this?
Well, they are very inspired by my work, especially in Jamaica here. Yes, especially, and I perform all over the world. And my poems also play. My poems also play on the radio because I also do recordings of the poems. So I have a strong female audience in Jamaica and outside of Jamaica.
How about men? What are some of the responses you're getting from men about this? Do they
I have men, yes. Yes, definitely, because I have men come up and tell me that, they're going to stop and do it. And I have a lot of male fans that support my work, and they say that, it's going to make them be better and know that they're not supposed to put their hands on women. I have a lot of male audience.
They all have daughters and sisters and mothers also.
Definitely, and they themselves feel it's not every man who beats a woman, So you find men who don't will be very upset, about men who does. So this will speak to them, and this will encourage them to encourage their male friends, not to do it. And men who do it, some of them you can see that they are very remorseful when they hear the poem, according to what they come up and say to me.
That's wonderful. I'm glad you're having that kind of impact. The second piece to it, as you said, you develop your martial arts skills, and you also try to get those kind of skills into the community. Speak to us a little about that part of yourself.
Yes, I put on a lot of seminars, martial arts seminars, and I also teach martial arts in the prep school. Okay, and this is for girls or for anybody? Girls and boys. Teaching in the prep school is girls and boys from age 6 to 12. And it's very impactful because what happened, martial arts come with a lot of discipline also. And we find that there's a lot of indiscipline in the schools. And I also teach a lot of seminars and have workshops. Okay, so it's for them to use the martial arts as a defense, but also as a self-discipline in their lives. Yes, also of self-defense, for self-defense, discipline, and confidence, to build confidence. Okay.
So you certainly have a nice combination of using your voice and using yourself to defend and declare who you are, which is really great.
Definitely. Because the revolution has to be holistic.
This is great. You said this is your third book.
Yes.
What's the difference between this book and the other two works?
All right. This book, because the last book I did was in 2000, so it's 18 years ago. So this is a more mature level of my work. It's more maturity and cover a wider section and more conviction.
This is great. So we live in what we call in the United States, the Me Too revolution is taking place, where women need to be heard fully and to be empowered. How do you see that affecting, that kind of combination you have affecting such a movement?
Well, I see it really complementing it, but on a different level though, because what we have to do, we have to make sure that we don't marginalize our good brothers, because there are good brothers out there who don't really, who parents grow them good and don't want to definitely be disrespectful to women. So we have to be mindful of that, you understand, because we have sons and we have brothers and we have fathers and we have uncles. So we have to be very mindful, so we don't use the ones who are going out there and doing these things and taint the other brothers. So I personally see this poem enhancing the movement, but on a level where we can say, okay, let us move together as men and women who are for strong morality and strong support.
Wonderful. We know you have a lot of energy, and we hope that your platform expands. If you should look in your crystal balls, what do you see Cherry Natural doing next?
I see Cherry Natural growing. I see Cherry Natural putting out more books. I see Cherry Natural traveling all over the world with the message. I see Cherry Natural connecting and growing into just using the revolution in bringing about change, and also not bringing about change with bloods and bombs and guns, but with love, because the revolution is also about love, how we can transform hate into love.
That's wonderful that you have that undergirding principle of love and care for each other. If folks would like to get a hold of your works or the like, what's the best way of contacting you?
They could contact me at Sachoy, SACHOY 21 at yahoo.com.
Okay, could you repeat that again? Let's make sure they get it.
Sachoy, SACHOY 21 at yahoo.com, or love_bank 47 at yahoo.com.
Okay. Love_7 at yahoo.com.
Underscore bank. Love_bank.
Bank.
Yes, 47. 47
at yahoo.com.
Yes.
Okay,
and if
wonderful.
anyone would like to learn more about Chris Daly, visit Digital to Grow, and that's the digital, the number 2, grow.com. To learn about Jamaican Diaspora, visit JamaicanDiaspora.com. And of course, Cherry Natural is SHCHOY21 at yahoo.com. Cherry, we really appreciate you spending some time with us. Let's support her book. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon and any other place. Support our Jamaican artists. They need you, and you will get a lot out of it. It's lyrical, cartoonist, Cherry Natural. Thank you, Cherry, for spending some time with us. Bye now.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks.